Hey girls, it's Tracy from FTGI, and as you've been seeing, maybe you've seen or maybe you haven't on social media, we have an announcement to make today, and I'm sitting here with a special guest, and I just wanted to give you a little background of what's been going on behind the scenes at FTGI over the past probably about a year, I guess. In the spring of last year, I started feeling some changes. My husband and I have a business outside of FTGI. Many of you know it's a Chick-fil-A, best chicken around. And my husband's store was being remodeled, and we had a lot of changes going on in that business. And we got the chance to go away over the summer for a few months. And during that time, I had time to just think and pray, and I had started feeling these changes going on in my life, and felt God, the only way I could describe it, and I think I described it in an email to all of you in the community, FTGI community, was that I felt God turning my head towards our business. And FTGI is a very all-consuming thing, and so when I knew that I was going to be more involved in the business, I had to kind of make some decisions about what my new role would be at FTGI if that was going to be happening. And so just prayerfully and over a few months just really decided and realized that I needed to step into a different position with FTGI and move on to the board of directors and be a little bit less in the day-to-day running of it, which meant that we needed to have a new executive director. So I've said all that to say, today I have Jen Baker joining me, and she is going to be our new executive director. So, I want you to know as a community that we've been slowly, this has been something that's been going on behind the scenes for a few months. It was really important to both of us, the board, and to Jen, that she knew what she was getting into so that we didn't just announce it and then have her go running for the hills saying, no, I changed my mind. So we've been working together for a few months, and it's been going really well. But besides working together for the past few months, I've known you for, gosh, I don't know, 20 years?
Probably.
I would say.
Before Abby.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we sang on a worship team together with Cinda Harris, and we've known each other. I've watched her family grow up, so I just I want to just let you know a little bit about Jen and her family. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, so I have been married for just celebrated 22 years. Whew, yeah. Right, it does. I have two teenagers. I have a son who's going to be 14 this month, and a daughter who is 16, which is crazy to say that I have two teenagers. My husband and I have owned a lawn and landscape company for, well, gosh, he started it before I even married him. So we've been running it together for the last 20 years, as long as I've been married. I used to be an elementary school teacher. That's what I started doing first, and taught in the school system, Pasco County Schools, for several years, and then started having kids and my husband needing more help at home. So I came back home, working the business, and then there was a transition where I started homeschooling my kids, and I have been homeschooling them for, this is right, so,
I did that for 2 years.
Did you?
Yes.
Yeah, there are moments where mommy goes in her closet to cry when they were younger. And I've been homeschooling, this is my 6th or 7th year that I've been homeschooling, and still loving it. Now, it took a few years to love it. I used to say I could teach a classroom of 25 better than 2 of my own, but we've gotten in a good group and they've become a lot more independent, so it's been really good doing that. I also have used to run a fitness boot camp for a while called Ready.
I joined
That's
that
right.
at one point. If you could get me running, that's a really good thing.
Yes, and that's what it really started with, was we all decided to go running together. Yeah. And I never run.
It was actually an FTGI conference.
Yes,
that,
it was.
that
So you talked about running the race. It was
running
the
the
race.
race. Yeah.
It was like that first, I think that was the first
I think it was the second
conference.
Yeah.
So we all decided to start running, and I said, and somehow I ended up leading this group of like 12 of us. We'd go around the loop. We did. We'd go around the loop, and I'd go, run, walk.
So at the end of that 5K, my daughter and my husband, I mean, it's, you know, it's amazing that I actually completed it at all. But at the end of the race, I came across the finish line, and my daughter said to me, she was, I don't know how old she was, maybe 10 at the time, and she goes, "Mom, a lady pushing a stroller." I was like, it's not a race.
But I finished it. And we did, and we all finished it, which is really, it's like when you think of all the things and how that is, it was part of us running a race together all those years ago. So I did that for a while, and I loved doing that. And I did that prior to homeschooling my kids, and then when I started homeschooling, it just became, that had to be my focus, and I had to let that part go, which I still am in touch with a lot of those women, and I love those women.
I love that. And that just speaks to those seasons in life where there are just, you know, it doesn't mean that you'll never do that again, but you have to sort of let go for a time period. And so tell the community a little bit about when you got the email, because I sent an email, I don't know how many of you saw it, but I sent an email back in, I think it was November, early November, explaining that the transition was coming, looking for another executive director. It's a tricky position to fill. It's a volunteer position. So I had a feeling we wouldn't have people knocking down the door necessarily. I knew it was going to have to be someone who was really called to do this job. So tell us about when you got that email.
So I got it, and I was like, wow. And I just felt like this voice, obviously God saying, you know, kind of like a little nudge. And so I printed out the description of the executive director, and I read through it, and I went, and I pushed it off to the side, and I left it sitting on my desk for months. And I just pushed it aside.
Well, the fact that you even printed it.
I did. I know. And I knew. I was like, and I was like, honestly, in my mind, I was like, you're kidding, right, God? And I pushed it aside. And I'd always been a part of, you know, from the beginning of FTGI. So I was like, so I'd see it on the corner of my desk as I'd work. And every once in a while, I'd grab it and I'd reread it again. And I'd go, and I'd push it back. And then the stirring that really God was putting on my heart just would not leave. And so I remember I pulled it back, and I remember reading, like, if you're interested, you know, submit a vision and your resume, which I hadn't done a resume in forever. And I was like, all right, vision, I don't even have a vision. All you told me, all I did was print this. I don't understand what you want from me. So I thought, well, if you really wanted me to do this, I said, then give me the vision and I'll just type. So I literally sat down, opened up Word, and within 10 minutes had the vision all typed out. And I read it and I was like, really? Like, okay, so I you know, and it was my little ways of like.
And if you go back a little bit, you can see how he was starting to prepare you, because you had just gone through the coaching academy.
Yes, I did. It was the fall. It was the previous summer. I had done the life coaching. Yes, and I was in that transition of starting a life coaching business. Then I was like, I was on the fence.
You felt something. Yes. You weren't sure what.
And so I kept pursuing that concept of starting my own life coaching and preparing for a wellness retreat and all this stuff. And but God just kept nudging, and I was like, really, really. And me, I just kept going, no. But you know, when he's chasing you and he wants something from you, he really doesn't stop.
Yeah.
And you can choose to ignore his voice and do your own thing, or you can stop and go, okay, I need to listen to what you're trying to tell me to do. So it was kind of almost my little like testing of, all right, well, if you really want me to do this, you're going to have to tell me the vision, because I don't even know. I don't even know what you want me to do. And so then when he did, I was like, okay, I guess I really...
Yes, I'll send it.
Yes. And then I was afraid to send it, so I thought, let me talk to my mom. She's like, you know, moms, they'll always say, oh, honey, no. Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I'll tell my mom. She'll be brutally honest with me, and then I can push this aside. And she was like, oh, you need to send this. I was like, really? Really? Yes. I was like,
I love it.
Okay. So I did.
So, yeah. And so on the other end, it had been, do you remember when you sent it?
I think it was right around Christmas season, right?
Christmas,
yeah. It's a nice safe time to send it.
On the other side, and our staff, because the amazing Jade Gray had stepped into an interim position. Our business reopened in October, and I already knew I was being pulled away from a lot of my regular operational things that I did with FTGI, and so Jade Gray had stepped in graciously as the executive director. She is totally amazing. And so we had been running like that for a couple of months already after the announcement had gone out, and not a lot of interest in the position, and just really wondering what was going on, because I wanted to make sure I was hearing correctly that this was really the time for me to move on from that position. And just one of those moments where you're, I remember sitting down on my back lanai, just going like, God, you have to provide the solution here. I didn't want to go solicit someone. This is something that someone has to feel passionate about and step up to the plate. And so I didn't want to reach out to people that seemed like obvious choices to me, or that, I thought would be a good fit. I wanted it to be that person came. And so just had a real moment of surrender and prayer one day, and pretty much within the next 2 or 3 days got your email saying that you were interested, which was really, really neat.
So wild.
So to catch you up, so for the past few months we've been slowly, Jen has obviously talked to the board. We decided that she was a great fit. Anytime there's a change in leadership, there are changes in an organization, obviously, but it's because it's needed. And I really, from the bottom of my heart, believe that you bring to the table things that I did not have. And I'll still be there with the things that I have from a board perspective, but I'm just really excited about you and the gifts and talents that you have to move this thing forward. Because we're going forward, girls. This race is not done. Our verse that we talked about when we rolled out FTGI way back in the beginning was Hebrews 12:1, about running the race with perseverance. And the past 10 years have been absolutely amazing. Not always easy, and it does take perseverance. There are times where it would have been easier to just go, this is just too overwhelming, but we've been around for 10 years, so we're not going anywhere.
That's right.
This is moving on. So I want you to be able to share with the FTGI community just what you see for the future, what's coming up.
Okay. It's funny how you say to keep moving, because right before I had done this, what I thought I was doing was forward motion coaching. That's what I came up with, and the logo. And and I've always had that philosophy of keep moving forward with the arrow, and so here we are in this stage of keep moving forward, and that is my vision for the girls, is to keep moving forward. And for us, I see the aspect, we have awaken, purpose, ignite, passion, and mobilize women, and I really want to focus on mobilizing women. I think now is the time to mobilize, to gather together. That better together is so important to me, and to be that support, and to step in and to train and to equip women. You have your purpose, you are filled with that passion, and now it's time to go. That no matter where you are in your place, that it's time to go. And so we as women are going to gather around each other to help and to build and support through the Better Together networks that we have, which are growing. And I am getting requests quite a bit for new locations. I think that there's a huge need for professional, entrepreneurial, working women to gather together and support each other, not just in our businesses, but as a relationship aspect. So that is something that's growing and going to continue. And then pouring in to the next generation of girls in our Shine program, that's very important, and we want to continue to push that forward and get that into the schools. And member mixers, where we're going to just continue to gather, kind of like the GNOs were, but in a member mixer kind of style. So we're going to keep gathering together and training and equipping, and there's some things I'm looking forward to trying to establish, where we'll actually get to really focus on some more training for us as women. Because sometimes we start a business, or we're in a new position, and maybe we're new in leadership, or maybe we're new as business owners, and to be able to come together as like-minded women and learn from each other and glean from each other. I
think that's one of the requests that we've gotten over the years, is we'll have a GNO, we'll come together, everybody gets fired up, and then they want more. So I'm excited that we're going to be giving them that. We're going to be doing that. So it's very exciting. Tell us about a couple of things that are coming up event-wise, because I would love for you to get out and be able to meet Jen.
Yes, absolutely. So I am at every Better Together Network meeting. So we have them every Tuesday. The first Tuesday of the month is in Bel Air at an adorably cute coffee shop. Loved it. I love those women there. Every group has amazing leaders and great groups of women there. And then the second Tuesday of the month is in Luke's at the Brick City Eatery, down by the Carrabba's there, just past the Suncoast. The third Tuesday of the month is Carrollwood at the Empress Tea Room. I love that place. I love them all, obviously you can tell that. And then the fourth Tuesday of the month is Palm Harbor, and it's the Painted Pear. And
right behind Chick-fil-A.
That's right behind Chick-fil-A. And that one is just like been standing room only. It's huge group of women. And we have a few more locations in the work. We're talking possibly a evening one in Dunedin area. We're talking about a Holiday Tarpon Springs area. For people who, when you're working, a lot of times it's during the day. So we're trying to help those women who can only do evenings. In Holiday Tarpon Springs area, we're looking at possibilities of South Tampa and St. Petersburg. So we're starting to spread. So we have those every Tuesday. We have the Shine program. We have 3 locations going. We've got Palm Harbor, Carrollwood, and Port Richey. And then we have coming up our cruise, which I will be on.
Let's talk about the cruise.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Our theme it's so funny because we didn't know in the very beginning of the year, we didn't know the changes that were going to be coming with me in the position, and just how that can be a little bit, unsettling when you're changing things up a little bit. And God gave us that word like He always does every year, and this year it was unwavering. And we just have felt that peace that during the transition, during everything that He has, and this is a lesson for all of you in your life, that His unwavering love, you can just depend on that. You can depend on Him too, even if the waves are crashing around you. And so we kind of picked the theme because we just thought it was a great word with the cruise, and we felt that was the word that resonated. I think it was Jade actually that came up with that. And it's been just such a perfect word for that. And I believe that on this cruise, we are going to just have it's going to be a different kind of conference. It's going to be an intimate time. We're just going to gather in the morning so that everybody can enjoy. There'll be some optional things in the afternoons. And we're going to do like worship under the stars one night on the deck, which can you even imagine?
That's going to be amazing.
Yeah. But I just feel like it's going to be that time where, there's nothing like getting away, shutting everything else out, and just having that time to just press in and hear what God's speaking for the next phase or the next thing that you're doing. So I'm really excited.
Oh yes.
Besides the fact that we're going next.
I know. It's going to be amazing. So I think it's April 19th, and there's still time to join. Yes, there's still room. Yeah. So if you want to come hang out with us, it's going to be intimate, great time to really even get to know, some women and develop some relationships. What this is all about, and this is the time to do that. So
we've been in some of the meetings that we have been talking together with the board and just with our little staff team. The phrase "stronger together" keeps coming up too. We keep saying that over and over. So I feel like we're moving into this better together and stronger together season. And I can't really think of anybody that I would have more confidence in taking it to the next level. In the beginning of 2017 at the GNO, I had spoken a message about the promised land, and I feel like a lot of us are always striving for that promised land. What's that place where God is taking us to? And when it's this elusive thing that we feel like we can't get to. And I kind of spoke to the women and said, listen, we're there already. God's given us whatever little territory that is. He's given you to possess, whatever land that is. It might not look like the promised land that you thought it was going to look like. I think you probably found that out as soon as you looked at our books. And I said, oh my goodness, it doesn't look initially like you pictured. But that's what that's our job while we're here, is to build that out. And so if there are things in the community that you feel like, I don't like the way this looks for our community, then it's our responsibility to step up and do those things. So I think we're moving into that season where we're really understanding we're already there. We're there. We're in our promised land. We need to start building it out, start fighting the battles together. We're stronger together.
Wear those shoes He gave you.
Yeah, so I want to encourage you guys as an FTGI community, since we are better together, to come out soon and meet Jen, get to know her. I'm not going anywhere. I just want to assure you of that I'm still on the board and very much involved in watching over and praying and supporting in any way that I can. You have my full support and anything you need, and I just really want to bless you as you move into this position. and just thank you, first of all, too, for stepping up, because it's a big deal. And I just think you're going to knock that out of the park.
I'm happy to do it. And we have our launch party April
Yes.
9th, and that's where you'll have the biggest opportunity to meet me, to sign up
even
for
if
the
you're not
cruise.
coming on the cruise, just come out that night to the launch party.
Yeah, it's members and non-members. We're doing a member mixer launch party, and it's members. Members are free. Non-members, it's just $5 at the door, and we're going to have a fashion show, and with Calais clothes and got jewelry. It's going to be amazing. So that would be a great opportunity. So if you can't get to a BTN soon, we'll all be at the launch party.
Awesome, great. All right, so we're going to keep going, better together, stronger together. Thanks for listening if you made it all the way to the end.